Hello, everyone, and welcome to the TechEdge AI Podcast, where we bring you the insights from tech leaders shaping the future of artificial intelligence and technology. Today, we're thrilled to have Anil Inamdar, Head of Data Services at Instaclustr by NetApp. With over 20 years of experience in data analytics, Anil has been at the forefront of driving successful data centric digital transformation. In this episode, we'll be discussing the key trends in data infrastructure, unique challenges enterprises face with open source technologies, and how Instacluster's managed platform is empowering businesses to scale critical data infrastructure. So, without further ado, let's welcome Anil. Hey, Anil, how are you doing today?
Very good. Thank you so much, Sid.
A great pleasure having you on our podcast, and I'm definitely looking forward to have a conversation with you.
All right. Thank you.
So I was just going through your profile, Anil. I mean, 2 decades of experience. I'd love to know more about it. With 20 years of experience in data and analytics, what key trends have you observed in the evolution of data-centric digital transformations?
Yeah, definitely. So I think it's more than 2 decades. It's like 25 years now. So yeah, definitely I have seen. So I consider myself fortunate and lucky to be part of this data revolution, as you called it. I have spent like over 25 years in that field, and I've seen significant changes in technology and tools and overall landscape. I've also witnessed a huge positive impact on the businesses. I have a way of classifying these trends that I have seen from the beginning till now. Okay, I label them as data 1.2, data 2.2, 3.2, and 4.2. I'll go through those. Okay, so the data 1.2 started. I put the data from 1950 to 1985. This was before my generation, but just for continuity, I put that. So this was the introduction of computers to the business world. Okay, and the focus was automation. Okay, payroll system automated, finance automated. Analytics played kind of a secondary role at that time. Then we moved to data 2.0, like from 1985 to 2000. Now, it saw the emergence of data analytics as a practice. So the EDW and BI and MDN, all the main data domains were established during this time. And that was the beginning of my journey also. Data analytics became a competitive advantage. So in data 1.2, automation was the focus. Here, competitive advantage was the focus. Then from 2000 and 2015, I call it data 3.0. Here, the data became a disruptor. New businesses, new business models and processes were introduced. Airbnb, Uber, Amazon. Digital transformation became a key initiative for several organizations. And now the last data 4.0, which is 2015 and till now. Again, these years are some way to kind of differentiate. There's no hard and fast rule there. This is my way of interpreting. So I believe that we are in currently data 4.0 domain, and between 2015 and now, here the data and the analytics practice is incorporating AI and ML into its framework. So that those are the kind of the four big trends I have seen from automation in data 1.2, competitive advantage in 2.0, and data 2.2, disruption in data 3.0, and assimilation of AI and ML into data and analytics framework for data 4.2. So that's kind of four trends I have seen over my long 25 years career in data and analytics.
Got it. That's a vast experience, and rolling back the years, I can actually see that rolling back in the past in terms of how it's been transformed altogether. So, talking about unique challenges, what unique challenges do enterprises face when scaling their critical data infrastructure with open source technologies, and how does Instaclustr address these challenges?
So that's a good question. And this has been asked by many of my clients before. But before we go into the challenges, let me set some context here. So we all know that data is growing like never before. Okay, by some estimates, a CAGR of around 23% compounded annual growth rate. The second trend is adoption of cloud by the business. Okay, businesses are kind of moving to cloud. Again, a fairly healthy CAGR there, 13 to 15%. On top of that, open source market is also growing exponentially and may reach around $70 billion by 2030. So open source and cloud are synergetic. Several of the cloud technologies are open source technologies. Suddenly, open source has become in vogue. Traditional companies are buying open source companies. IBM recently acquired Red Hat for 34 billion. Microsoft acquired GitHub for like 7.5 billion. So with that context, let's go back to your original question of challenges. Enterprise face several challenges using open source technologies. One of the biggest challenge is availability of skilled resources. So unlike proprietary technologies like Oracle, that has been in the market for say over 40 years, open source is new, and so there aren't highly qualified or experienced resources in the market. So that's one big challenge. Another challenge is supporting the technology when there is an issue or a bug. Unlike proprietary technology, there is no phone number to call as the software is built by community. Another challenge is to fill several gaps associated with the original open source software, like auto deployment, monitoring, backup. Many times there is a great software, but it doesn't focus on monitoring and alerting and backup and kind of a day-to-day management. And enterprises spend a lot of time in developing these custom solutions to address these gaps. So those are the there are several gaps, but I have grouped them into these three major categories. Now, Instaclustr addresses these challenges through three related products. Mm-hmm. Our flagship product is our SaaS platform. Enterprises can outsource their day-to-day management of open source technologies to us. We can manage these technologies in cloud of their choice, AWS, GCP, or Azure, or even on-prem. We can manage these technologies for them. They can hand over the keys to us for these, and they can focus on the business solutions. The other product is support. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason, if our platform cannot be used, and many times there are legal reasons, there are security reasons, they cannot use our platform. In that case, they still need support, because when there's a bug or something goes down, who do they call? With proprietary software, there's a phone number. Okay, with Oracle, Microsoft, you can call them and they will try to help you. But with open source software, who do you call? Another product that we offer is support. So you can call us 24/7, and we will help you wherever we can. Not the least is the consulting arm, which I lead. So with consulting, we provide end-to-end solution from strategy to architecture, development, deployment, training, followed by support and managed platform. So that's kind of my summarization of the challenges and some of the solutions that we provide to alleviate those challenges.
I mean, some wonderful insights, and good to know how it addresses various challenges out there. Instaclustr as a platform, as a service. Now,
yes.
Could you share some insights on how Instaclustr's managed platform supports enterprise customers in leveraging 100% free and open source data technologies?
Yes. So I think for this podcast, I may not be able to do a demo, but I think we can share some links, and we can definitely do a demo, which will be the best way to kind of showcase our platform. But for this session, let me tell you, our managed platform is a unique offering in the market for open source database technologies. We differentiate ourselves from proprietary vendors, as our focus is 100% operations. We don't sell any licensing. We are not in the business of selling unnecessary products or enhancements. We currently manage around 12,000 nodes across multiple industries and technologies. We currently support database technologies like Cassandra, Kafka, Postgres, OpenSearch, Spark, Redis, and more. You can deploy any of these technologies with few clicks of a button on any cloud of your choice, AWS, Azure, GCP, or even on-prem. For example, if you want, you can deploy a 3-node Cassandra cluster in just 5 minutes. Not only will you have the cluster running in 5 minutes, but you will also get built-in monitoring, alerting, backup, and there are several other operational tools that we offer once you deploy database. You will always be up to date with security patches, and on occasion when there is a bug that the community may take time to fix, we will develop a patch and work with the community until it accepts the patch. We will support the patched version until the community accepts our solution or provides an alternative. So this is how we support our enterprise customers with 100% open source software. As I said, this is a podcast. I would encourage viewers and your listeners to go to instaclustr.com and take a demo there, or contact me and I can give a demo also.
Absolutely. So coming back to primary challenges again, what are some primary challenges associated with running AI workloads at scale? And why do you think the cost is a significant concern?
So I think there's a big discussion about cost that AI uses. I think it consumes tons of resources, especially electrical energy, that ends up using, we produce electricity using water, gas, thermal, coal, nuclear fuel. So it's a big problem. Like how do you kind of balance the needs of AI and our environment? So basically it's an enterprise problem as well as a problem for the world in general. But apart from energy resources, which our open source technology cannot solve, But so let's focus on where we can help you. So apart from energy resources that AI technology needs, they also need data storage. They also need data processing. They also need data messaging, data analytics, and several other data technologies. So there are several proprietary versions available in the market that cost money. And enterprises are moving towards open source to offset the cost. Okay? And that is where open source technologies and Instaclustr at NetApp come into play. For example, our platform provides 100% open source NoSQL database like Cassandra, SQL database like Postgres, streaming engine like Kafka, data processing engine like Spark, or open search for search and analytics. Apart from cost benefits, open source technologies also offer several benefits that alleviate challenges with processing AI workloads at scale, like security, scalability, reliability, and innovation. So I think innovation is something that people don't think when they start using open source. But this is one of the biggest differentiator. Many enterprise companies like Apple and Netflix, they use Cassandra, and they use Cassandra because if there's a feature that is lacking, they don't have to go to Oracle and request them for a feature, and Oracle will take its own sweet time. They can start putting that feature themselves. They can add that feature themselves and get the community excited behind it. And within no time, you will have that feature. So innovation is one difference that people don't focus on, and that can make all the difference while using processing AI workloads. So that's my kind of answer of some of the challenges and how we alleviate those using open source technologies for processing AI workloads.
Perfect. I mean, I like the way you put it across, and thank you for the answer. Now, how do you see the future of open source data technologies evolving? And what role will Instaclustr play in that future?
All right. So you want me to look into the crystal ball.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
there's a perfect storm brewing in the marketplace right now. And I would say 3 or 4 related phenomena are coming together. First of all, growth of data in the cloud, growth of open source technologies, and the maturing of AI promise. So there is a lot of hype about AI. So on one side, we have the hype, but on the other side, there's also a huge potential. The truth probably lies somewhere in between. I believe that open source technologies, with its dominance in both cloud and AI, are going to play a key role in its maturity and completeness. Uh, if we could fast forward data and practice by a decade, I believe that we would find that open source and AI has automated all the stages of the entire data pipeline, from data capture to ingestion to storage to processing to analytics to insights. Open source and AI solutions will eliminate data silos, differences between structured and unstructured data, differences between batch and streaming databases. They will automate security, governance, and will become a key to fulfill the democratization of data dream that has been a dream for last 10, 15 years. Of course, we are not there yet, but we are moving towards it slowly but steadily. How can Instaclustr at NetApp help? Instaclustr, with its acquisition by NetApp, can lead the change by providing end-to-end solution from storage to cloud to databases to AI and analytics. So that's what I see in my crystal ball. It's not an easy question, and there's no perfect answer, but that's what I see.
Absolutely. I mean, the crystal ball states the future is bright, and at least for Instaclustr and NetApp, and providing timely solutions from end to end, all makes sense. And I guess that's pretty much a positive note by the crystal ball. But yeah, coming to Anil Inamdar as a thought leader, I'm pretty sure you attended a lot of industry conferences. You've given a lot of keynotes out there, right? So, what topics do you typically cover in your presentations at industry conferences like DataCon, Developer Week, and Open Source Summit? And what are some key messages do you aim to convey to your audiences?
So there are several interesting topics that are requested by our customers, our research group at marketing. And so some of the conferences that I've spoken to are like, hey, what are some of the key open source use cases? So I think we have addressed that. How do we migrate from a proprietary technology to an open source technology? It's like from Oracle to Postgres, say from a proprietary legacy messaging system like IBM to Kafka, or to move from, say, data stacks to Cassandra. So I think migration is a huge part of the conferences. Then open source and AI, okay, is a big theme nowadays. Okay, how do we use open source technologies for processing AI workloads? And open source has solutions in every facet of the AI pipeline. So I think that's another topic. Another topic that is getting some traction is platform engineering. Okay, platform engineering is big nowadays. The DevOps has kind of evolving into platform engineering, and there are a lot of open source technologies that we can use to provide platform engineering for enterprises. So these are kind of some of the some topics, and there are several other topics I could come up with, but these are the main topics that we have talked about: open source use cases, migration, open source and AI, and open source and platform engineering.
Got it. Well, those were some wonderful insights, Anil. Thank you so much for sharing those wonderful insights and all your experience within your 2 decades or 2.5 decades, I would say, of your experience. And that essentially brings us to the end of today's insightful conversation. A huge thank you to Anil Inamdar for sharing his expertise on the evolution of data technologies and the future of open source solutions. If you found value in today's discussions, don't forget to subscribe to TechEdge AI Podcast and leave us a review. Stay tuned for more conversations with industry experts, and as always, keep exploring the possibilities of AI and technology. Until next time, signing off, your host, Sidesh.